Hello everyone, in this video we will be working on a program to count the number of characters in any given string. As part of the requirement, we will not count characters that only appears once in the string. Now that we understand the requirement, let's start writing some code. First, let's know that here we are being provided with an input value, and what I want to do now is create another string variable, and this string variable is going to hold the output value after the input value has been processed by the program we're going to write right now. So I'm going to say here string output val, and I'm going to initialize it as an empty string. What I want to do now is create a method which is going to hold our business logic. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say public static string, and we're going to say get char count. This is going to take one parameter. It's going to be a string parameter, and we're going to say string value. So value is going to be the name of this parameter. What I want to do now is declare two variables that are going to be super important in order for us to achieve our goal. First, we're going to say string result, which is going to be initialized as an empty string. And then I'm going to say int count, which is going to be equal to 0. Now we need to loop through all of the elements or all of the characters of the input value. So I'm going to say here for in I equal to 0, and then we're going to say I less than value dot length, and then we're going to say I plus plus. Inside the loop, I'm going to say count is equal to 1, and then I'm going to write another loop. So we're going to say here while I less than value dot length minus 1, and so this is going to be our condition. We're going to say and value dot char at, this is going to take one parameter which is I, equal to value dot char at. Again, this is going to take one parameter. It's going to be I plus 1. And I'm going to explain right now what this criteria is supposed to do. This is our condition, and what it means is that while the value of I is less than the number of characters in the input value, and the current value of I is equal to the next value of I in the next iteration, we want to increment the count by 1 as well as our counter I. So we are going to say here count plus plus, and then we're going to say I plus plus, effectively incrementing our count variable and also our counter if this condition or if this criteria is met. As part of our requirement, we only want to count characters that appears more than once in the input value. So for that, we're going to add a condition, and we're going to say if count is equal to 1, pretty much I don't want to count it. I just want to see it there. I just want to see it in the output value, but I don't want to see the count. So we're going to say result is going to be equal to whatever value we have in result plus our parameter value dot char at, which is taking as a parameter our counter I. However, if the value of count is greater than 1, then I want to see the count of characters in the output value. So I'm going to say here else result is going to be equal to result plus our count plus value dot char at. We're going to pass I as a parameter, and then we're going to return our variable result. So we're going to come down here and we're going to say return result. Let's go back to our main method now, and here we're going to say output val is going to be equal to get char count, and we're going to pass as a parameter our input value. After this, I want to print in the console both the input value and the output value. So I'm going to say here is out. We're going to add some text. We're going to say input value plus input value. I'm going to copy this and paste it below to print the output value. So let's change this and say output value, and let's change this also, output value. Now we're going to save the changes and run the program. So let's go ahead and do it to see what we get. So here we have the result. As you can see, we have 3 letter A. The letter A appears 3 times, therefore we have 3A. And then we have the letter B twice in the string. So we have 2B. And then we have the letter C, which only appears once in the string. And we have letter C because the requirement was clear and it said we don't want to get the count of a letter or of a character if it only appears once in the string. Therefore, we only want to see the letter. And then we have the letter D, which appears 4 times. And that's what we have, 4D. The program works correctly, and this is pretty much the way you count the number of characters in a string programmatically. See you next time.